purpose of this short video is to show some options on the signage for Terra 3. The first is kind of an oblique angle of the patio sign. You can see it's brown here. I'm going to recommend that would get cleaned and painted white. It doesn't have to be any super crazy good job, just something so that you can kind of see reflected light better from back behind the sign. Once that's painted white, I'm going to suggest that a lightweight 1/8 inch thick aluminum angle frame be constructed. That would hold the signboards that you had talked about out of that clear Lexan, or the milky Lexan that you would then put the stickers on. As you can see here, we've got a kind of a box facing you that's about 10 foot wide, and then there's a middle bracket about 5 foot in. In order to get lights to be spaced in there correctly, it really needs to have the graphics designed and figured out ahead of time. I can get lights in 2 foot and 4 foot waterproof, extremely thin profile sizes, and I'll show you those in a moment here. But just wanted to point out that some of this is kind of all related to the rest of the project, and without the actual graphics, it's hard to complete the design here. At any rate, there's a bunch of aluminum here. The next thing we've got is we would construct those signs. It would be a friction fit at the top, and then at the bottom we'd use a matching colored screw so that that would hold it in place there. And once you've got that on, I will zoom in here and show you the top of the sign. There's a little architectural detail there. That's actually just standard roofing D-edge metal. That would be on the outside, and that would be what would capture the top of the plastics with the logos on them. And that is pretty slick because that would also keep moisture and runoff and whatnot from dripping down the sign and making a mess. Another detail now, you're going to see the underside of the sign. After the sign permit is pulled and the sign is all put up and installed, my thinking is that we would put lights underneath as a separate part of the project rather than trying to get a lighted sign permit. At any rate, I'm trying to show that there would be panels underneath, little tiny holes. It has about 25% aluminum, and the rest of it is just little holes that would be smaller than bugs can get through. That would allow some down lighting, which would be kind of neat effect in the parking lot. That would also allow you to keep the thing cool, and like you mentioned, if any water gets through, it could drip out through that. Those would be individual 10-foot access panels. Again, just unscrew it and it would just drop down where needed to. But since I'm planning to put LED lights in, I don't know how often you need to get in there. You could actually probably pressure wash through the screen and clean the back of the sign. On our final picture here, just kind of showing some layout, again from that front corner. So all of the light bulbs you see are 4 foot long, except the ones way in the back corner. Those are 2-footers, just because of the shape of that thing. So again, all of this can be changed based on what your actual graphics layout is. And the vertical pieces that you see there, that would capture the ends of the individual panels of the sign, because we need something there so that doesn't flop around. But again, just coming back to it, you'd end up with something that looks like this. So let me know what you think.